Good afternoon, and I would like to welcome you all to the Pharr International Bridge Board meeting for July 22nd, 2020. The time is 12 p.m. And we're going to go ahead and start with roll call, please. Is Vanessa on?
Can y'all hear me?
Now we do.
Edgar Delgadillo,
Here.
Tony Martinez,
Present.
Larry Hernandez,
Here.
Alberto Campero, Luis Flores,
Present.
Mayor Hernandez, Mayor Pro Tem Carrillo, and I believe Alanis is in for City Manager Ed Wiley. Luis Mazan, Fred Browen,
Present.
Carla Saavedra, Omar Ansandua.
Present.
Okay. Everyone is present.
Okay. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation by Luis.
Flags out there.
Hey, man. I don't think I didn't hear you, Luis.
Yeah, I couldn't hear Luis. I still can't hear Luis.
Patricia, do we need to redo the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation since we couldn't hear Luis? Is your mic on, Luis, already?
She's dialing in. Give her a second.
Right. Am I the only one that can't hear Luis or everybody?
I can't hear him
I
either.
can't hear him either.
Yeah, we can hear him.
Fred, I can hear Fred now.
Yeah, let me sit here.
Okay, we're looking into Luis's mic right now.
Okay, now we can.
I don't know why you guys can't hear me. My microphone's on, everything's on. I don't know what's going on.
Okay, now we
It was
can.
working fine a minute ago. I had another meeting and it was working fine, so I have no clue.
Y'all can either start from the agenda or if you want to restart with the invocation and the pledge.
The question is, Luis,
Someone's trying to close the
we need to hear the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. We need to read.
Edgar, we can't hear you. Or I can't hear you. No sound.
My microphone and my computer is on. Everything's on. I don't know what's going on. Can you guys hear me from here?
Yes.
Yeah, we
can.
can hear you.
If we want, let's do the Pledge of Allegiance again and the invocation, and then we'll get started. I don't know what's going on with the technicalities.
Okay.
Okay. Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Let us pray. Father God, we lift up all those who are facing illness today. We ask that you would bring healing, comfort, and peace to their bodies. Calm their fears and let them experience the healing power of your love. In Jesus' name, amen.
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 Can we please redo the pledge of the invocation?
Annalie, does your audio sound?
Nope.
Yes, the audio for Edgar sounds really, really bad.
I can't even hear Edgar.
Yeah, this Jose from IT, the Edgar, the connectivity that you have to go to meeting, and Luis, you need to dial in using the phone number option, and I'll mute your
All right,
camera.
please stand for the pledge of allegiance one more time. Thank you.
I'm dialing.
Mr. Basan is dialing on his cell, so he'll be connected in a minute. All right.
Okay, can you guys hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yep.
I can.
Oh, wow, okay. All right, so I don't know why that happened, but anyway, sorry for the technical difficulties there. What are the wishes? Do we wish to do it again for a third time, or should we just get started with the meeting?
Well, I heard, Luis, I heard the pledge and your prayer.
Okay, perfect. Then let's get started. Okay.
Can you hear me there or no? Do I need to move?
We're good.
One second.
Edgar. We can't hear Edgar. Vanessa.
I believe we lost Edgar's mic again.
Hear me better there?
Yes. Now we
Yes.
can.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, give me a sec. I'm trying to change networks because I want to have not. Do you hear me there?
Yes.
Now we can, Edgar.
All right. All right. I guess we'll go to the first item, which is the approval of the minutes for June 17, 2020, and we need a motion to move forward.
A motion?
Motion.
Second,
Can everyone hear me?
yes.
Okay. We need a motion on the approval of the minutes.
A motion?
I second.
We have a motion by Martinez, second by Luis Flores. All in favor, say aye.
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 Guys, my signal is not helping me. Unfortunately, I can't move from where I'm at. Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We hear you. It cuts out, but we hear you.
I'm sorry. I had to switch to another network because the other one wasn't helping. All right. So we're gonna go to the director report, which is the crossings and revenues report for June 2020.
Good afternoon, board members. For the record, Fred Brown, Director of Operations of the Pharr Bridge. I'd like to present the crossings and revenues for the month of June, fiscal year 2019-2020. We're going to start on page number 3 for the southbound car crossings for the month of June. For the month of June, we crossed a total of 30,291 cars, which represents a total loss of 24,564 cars, which show a decrease of 44.78% compared to last year's same month. So I'd like to present the car crossings from other ports of entry. We got for Brownsville, we got Gateway, a loss of 33,516. Veteran, Los Tomates, a loss of 57,030 cars. Free Trade Los Indios, a loss of 19,378 cars. A total combination of all three bridges, a loss of 109,924, which represents a loss of 43%. Pass, they had a loss of 109,000, which represents a loss of 44%. Laredo, they had a loss of 192,872 cars, which represents a loss of 46%. Hidalgo Bridge, they had a loss of 91,641 cars, which represents a loss of 45%. And Saldinos, they had a loss of 36,960 cars, which represents a loss of 48%. A combination of both bridges, they represent a loss of 128,601 cars, which represents a loss of 46%. Regreso Bridge, they had a loss of 4,570 cars, which represents a loss of 13%. Donna Bridge, they had a loss of 23,637 cars, which represents a loss of 54%. And then again, the Pharr Bridge, you had a loss of 24,564 cars, which represents a loss of 45%. On page 4, we have the truck crossings. These trucks are crossing from the U.S. to Mexico for the month of June. We had total crossings of 56,448 trucks, which represents an increase of 6,835 trucks, which show an increase of 13.78% for the month of June. Also, I'd like to present the other truck crossings from other ports of entry for trucks. Again, these are trucks that are traveling from the U.S. to Mexico. Vero en Los Tomates allows the 1,817. Free Trade Los Indios, an increase of 75 trucks. Combination of both bridges allows the 1,742, a loss of 8%. Eagle Pass, they show a loss of 45 trucks. Laredo Bridge, they had a loss of 8,277, 4% decrease, I'm sorry. Pharr Bridge, we had an increase of 6,835 trucks, which represents an increase of 14%. Progreso Bridge, they had a loss of 223 trucks, which represents a decrease of 5%. And the Anzalduas Bridge, they had a loss of 352 trucks, which represents a decrease of 22%. I'd like to make a comment, board members, Chairman. One of the reasons that we see an increase for the month of June is for the month of June 2019, we had 22 working days compared to last year, same month, we only had 20 working days. So I was thinking that every single bridge at least was supposed to break even, but I guess they got lost, each one, with the exception of the free trade, which they had 75 trucks more than last year. And the Pharr Bridge, had an increase of 6,835. It was a very, very good month for truck crossings. On page number 5, we have the northbound. These are trucks that are crossing from Mexico to the U.S. We total crossings were 56,535 trucks, which represents an increase of 4,894 trucks, or an increase of 9.48%. On the agriculture side, the Pharr International Bridge total 17,146 truck or crossings for the month of June, representing a 31% of all the imports that are coming from Mexico to the U.S. Also on the agriculture side, we have the trucks at the Pharr International Bridge import lot show an increase of 2,245 trucks, or an increase of 13% compared to last year, same month. On the last page, page number 6, we have the revenues. Total revenue collected for the month of June, collected a total of $1,213,715, which show an increase of $33,716, or an increase of 2.86%. Total revenue collected from October to June, on the 9-month period, we collected a total of $10,697,440, which represents a loss of $298,421. Board member, Chairman, this completes my report on the crossings of revenues. If you have any questions, I would like definitely answer. Can you
comment just a comment on the southbound, you have the revenue report.
Congratulations on the great one. I'm actually surprised.
Yeah, I don't know if you can.
Maybe don't have more insight.
Can't hear anything.
We have
Very,
a lot more ag trucks in.
Edgar, I'm afraid you're losing your signal, so we can't hear you. Plan B would be to go to the next person in line. If that's okay.
Who's next after Chairman Delgadillo?
It would be Vice Chair Tony Martinez.
Tony, do you mind taking over if your audio works, please?
Sure. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear
Yeah,
you.
we can hear you.
Yes, sir. I can hear Tony.
Okay. I think Beto was going to make a comment on the SAPTA.
Yeah, just a quick comment, but I don't know if you guys hear me. Oh, okay. But what I'm saying is that you're trying to improve on crossings and all that, but it could be just because you're not going to be showing if they're loaded or empty. So the majority, I believe, is that there's an influx of a lot of northbound because Mexico is working some shifts and there were still maybe more industries that were more essential over here that they were shipping out. Okay, so I mean that has to do a lot with the type of industry that are shipping right now. And then so a lot of the southbound that was still maybe stabilized is we're not seeing it going lower with raw materials or things big going into Mexico because there's a big influx of lots of southbound going into Mexico. Since everything in Mexico is closed, they're not buying. So, and some essential industries are still sending northbound to the U.S. who needs a lot of essential goods like toilet paper, antibacterial gel, antibacterial soap, food, and things like that. So I mean, it's very chaotic right now in logistics because there's a lot of peaks and valleys in certain industries and a lot of influxes and everything moves and the market's still trying to stabilize. So very a weird time that I've never been to. But I mean, it's day by day. This thing is changing.
Let's Beto, we can't hear you either. For some reason, you have a bad connection as well. So sorry about that. But I think we're going to just limit some of the comments coming from those that have bad connections because we're never going to get through this meeting. We're already halfway through. So if you don't mind, we can continue going through the agenda because I couldn't make out anything.
Sure. Let's move on to the financial report, please.
Okay. Good afternoon, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Luis Bazan, Bridge Director. We do have Carla Saavedra on the line if there are any particular questions. Right now, we're in complete budget mode. We're getting ready to meet with executive management tomorrow. We've already met with finance to go over the budget for the next fiscal year 2020-2021. Things are looking good, but again, we have to meet with executive management to ensure that we're justifying the increases where we need them and things of that nature. So that meeting will take place tomorrow, and we'll be able to provide a more in-depth report on that once we do have it in place. Other than that, as far as budget is concerned, we are at about 75 to 80% of our current budget. Things are tracking well. As we know, this COVID-induced recession of sorts has really come to put a dent in business across the board, and we are not the exception. So obviously right now, if you look at our financials across the board, we're probably, we need to revenue about 4.6 million from here to the end of the fiscal year, which ends September 30th. So we're working on that. We have some ideas, we have some plans. But again, with companies still running, at 50, 60, maybe even 70% capacity, in Mexico, particularly the maquiladora industry, we'll see where that gets us in order to balance the budget at the end of the fiscal year. But again, things are tracking well when it comes to expenses and revenues. We're doing good. Unless Carla wants to add anything else.
No, Luis, pretty much what you said it's what it is. So I don't have any more comments.
Okay, thank you, Carla.
Carla, with everything that's happening with COVID, are we going to expect any budget adjustments to the current budget?
Not for now. Thankfully, COVID hasn't affected us, though in a bad way yet. and we're only 2 months away for the fiscal year. So because of how conservative Luis has been in the expenditure side, we shouldn't see any budget adjustments at all.
Great. Let's move forward to the engineering report.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, we do have Omar Ansaldúa on the line if there are any questions regarding engineering, and I can give a quick report as well.
I don't.
So let me just go over a few notes here for engineering report when it comes to our projects. We are getting ready to break ground on DAP 15. You are very familiar with those projects. The only thing that's happening right now is that the federal government's taking longer to vet the employees. So I think out of almost 50 employees, only six of them have been vetted, and that process is taking a lot longer due to COVID-19. So we're looking at groundbreaking for the DAP 15 projects or FY 15 projects sometime in August. We're hoping that'll be middle of August at the latest, and that'll get us started on those two major projects that we've been planning for the last 5 years. When it comes to DAP 16, we have a timeline for that, and basically what we're looking at is to update the plans with TxDOT by August the 10th, and then some other environmental clearance and things like that by August 10th. We let the project in October of 2021, so not 2020, 2021. And then we give the notice to proceed in January of 2024. The construction would start February 2022 through February 2024. So that's 24 months of construction, and we close out that project in March of 2024. So again, that's a quick breakdown of where we're at with that. Our office expansion, we're almost done. We did pass the fire test. We're just waiting for the final walkthrough and punch list to get us through and get us the certificate of occupancy to move in. All the furniture is in place. Everything's pretty much where we need it to be. There's another phase to the project which requires the outside, but as far as inside, we're ready to move in anytime soon because the lease on this temporary office facility ends at the end of this month, so we don't want to extend that any further. So we're working closely with development services, planning and engineering and our contractors to ensure that gets done. Other than that, the expansion of the bridge, things are going well. We did manage to get to the July 15th deadline with Mexico as far as submitting the cost-benefit analysis for that project on the Mexican side. So now it goes through a process with the federal government, basically to get us to the funding source. So things are moving along great on the U.S. side as well. As you are all aware, last month we did have in-depth or comprehensive report on the span for the bridge. And that's really what I have to report on at this moment, unless Omar wants to add more on the technicality side of things.
Yeah, just one more thing, Luis. The generator for the bridge office expansion should be getting here probably mid-August.
Okay, great.
Luis, so what's the date that we're expecting to move into the new offices for staff?
It could be as early as Monday, the 27th of this month, July. So we're working with IT as well. I forgot to mention that we're working with IT. We developed a plan to move out to ensure that operations are seamless and that continuity of government business resumption goes well without issues. But it looks like 27th, next week, Monday.
Congratulations. Any other questions or comments? If not, we can move forward to the director's report.
Okay. So, Mr. Chairman, members of the board, as you know, we've continued this. This week will mark week 16 of our Bridge Connect live sessions. Those are going great. We've averaged a total of maybe about 60, 70 people per session. The one for this week is regarding the tomato suspension agreement. As we all know, the U.S. Department of Commerce and the importers from Mexico reached an agreement, and that requires a higher intensive inspection for tomato crossings when they're coming across into the U.S. So we've encountered issues there since March, April of this year. We've talked to some importers. We've talked to USDA. We've talked to CBP, and we've also talked to the Texas Cooperative. So tomorrow during our Bridge Connect live session, we're going to be giving an update on that as far as what's going on, what are we doing to make our crossings more efficient, because as we are all aware, with this tomato suspension agreement, this requires almost 80% of the shipments to be inspected, but there have been some unnecessary delays on some shippings of these tomatoes. A lot of it is also due to the virus, to the Rogus virus, or I don't know if I'm pronouncing that correct, but as you can see on the flyer, those are the topics we're going to be discussing. I do highly encourage those that want to ask any questions or to provide any feedback to the panel and to the folks that are going to be there and to the viewers, those that participate, to please join us tomorrow at 10 a.m. through YouTube. We'll send you the link if you have not received it already, but it is live streaming. And again, we're going to continue with these. This is 4 months in. We're going to continue week by week until further notice.
Good to go, Luis.
Okay, so another
Anything
quick
else?
update. Yes, another quick update. So bridge operations have continued. The only thing that's changed, or that has also continued but has kind of slightly changed, is that the fact that those with Mexican visas cannot come across into the U.S. yet. It's only for essential travel, as we've been hearing for the last few months. So every 30 days, CBP in Mexico, come to the same agreement, and they push it out another 30 days as expected to keep everybody safe. Other than that, our operations continue. We have not changed hours. Everybody knows that last month we had a very unfortunate event at the Pharr International Bridge, and there was also rumors and threats about other bridges. So we had some farmers that blocked the bridge that were protesting at the gates of the bridge. So we were at a standoff for about a day and a half. You're looking at about 31 hours that we were down with no commercial traffic, no traffic at all. So when you add all that up and you add all our industries, the automotive, the technology, the perishables, the energy sector, and all our crossings, and the $36 billion in trade that we bring annually, and that's the latest figure as of 2019, that was a total loss of about $90 million for that 31 hour standoff. So obviously, we were on the phone, we were on emergency Zoom meetings with our stakeholders, with federal officials on both sides of the border, people that were, in close connection with the folks that were causing the protest. So I'm happy to report that tomorrow they have a meeting. The farmers in Mexico have a meeting tomorrow in Mexico City with the proper officials, with the federal officials, to reach some type of an agreement. This is not a U.S. issue, but it does affect us because we have this international crossing. So what happens in Mexico does affect us in the U.S., and we will not permit this to happen again. We've already been talking to Policía Federal Preventiva. We've talked to Index, who has a security group which is military based out of Mexico. We've talked to a lot of folks and our stakeholders, and we're ready to take action to prevent this from happening again. They can't hold us hostage for something that they're needing. And just for background, I think everybody knows what they're asking is they're just asking for a fair price for their sorghum, for their domestic product. They're asking for government subsidies. And this has been ongoing for years. But this year they really, made a dent because the standoff was a day and a half instead of your normal 3 to 4 hours. So again, we're working closely. We're keeping an eye on the situation, and we're hoping it does not escalate again. So far, so good. No threats at this time.
That's good. And it was an unfortunate situation, right? But these are externals that we've been facing for the last 3 years. But again, great job to the team. Everybody activated on this side of the border, on the other side of the border, and made the best situation possible despite the unfortunate circumstance. I mean, this was a card that we were dealt, and we made the best of it. So great job, Fred. I know Fred and Luis and Cheque were extremely involved, and staff was working tirelessly. So hats off to everybody, because everybody reacted very well.
Team effort for sure. We couldn't have done it without the help of everybody that got involved. We're even at the point where we're sending letters of support from our elected officials on the U.S. side, your congressmen, your senators, to their counterparts in Mexico, to ensure that these folks do reach some type of an agreement with these farmers to prevent this from happening. But I am happy to report, though, that even though we've lost for that month, within that hour, 31-hour standoff, we lost about 3,500 trucks. So that's a huge loss. When you count that also with cars, you're looking at about almost $80,000 in revenues that we lost because of that. So it's time to make it up. So far this month, July 1st through July the 21st, we're up 1,600 trucks. So we're hoping that by the end of July, we can at least get to the number that we lost of trucks. Although that did help in one way or another, because on that same Friday and Saturday after the standoff, we crossed more trucks on a Friday than what we normally do, about 1,000 more, and we crossed even about 1,000 plus more on a Saturday, which is not very common. So that just goes to show, we are a preferred port of entry crossing. There are more companies that we're looking at, that we've been talking to. Our stakeholders are also putting us in contact with more companies that either want to import through here or export through here, or both. So I think, optimistically speaking, the outlook is very positive for the Pharr International Bridge going forward.
Good news, Luis.
Great job. Anything else on your report, Luis?
No, sir, that's it. That's about it. This was supposed to be a short meeting. We don't have any action items or anything further. We'll see what develops between now and next month. Right now, as we all know, there's a county order. I don't know if it's enforceable or not, but there's a county order to shelter in place. So my report to everyone is just to, follow the guidelines, stay safe. Here within our facilities, we're asking everybody to not deviate from work and home, between work and home, or vice versa, unless it's an essential, a need that you have to go to the grocery store or something medical, but other than that, we're trying to keep everybody as safe as possible, and we're following CDC guidelines. Also, we're meeting with our colleagues, with city management, emergency meetings twice a month to ensure that we're all on the same page.
Yeah, the good news from some of the talking points that we had gone over, budget wise, unlike many other entities on the private side and on the government side, right? We're within budget, so we have a leg to stand on, and we've got a couple more months before the fiscal year ends for the bridge. So those are really good points. Looking forward, right? We need to continue being as conservative as we've been. If anything, we probably have to tighten up a few things just in preparation for what's to come, right? So, but again, great job all around, and Luis. Again, when it comes to the budget, I think so. This far, we've been, as a team, collectively, great stewards of the city's money.
Absolutely. And with that being said, if I may add, we're also obviously going to take more advantage of social media. So a couple of months ago, we launched our Facebook for the first time. We were always along with the city's Facebook. Now we have our own. We're putting out content daily, updating hours of operations if we need to, that sort of thing, because there's still a lot of questions about that. But more importantly, we're going to be in talking with IT this morning. Looks like we've already opened up an account for LinkedIn and for Twitter. So we're devising some type of a marketing strategy or marketing plan, and we're going to be rolling it out between now and the end of this fiscal year, but more importantly, ramping it up next fiscal year, because as you know, part of our job, the biggest part of our job is to go out there and sell the bridge, to promote the bridge. We've done an exceptional job. The team has done a fantastic job doing this throughout the years, but because of COVID, you know, we're pretty much staying in place, and we have to rely on these types of meetings. And it's not the same as going to visit with companies, going to visit with potential future users of this bridge. So we're going to be, again, taking advantage of these social media networks to ensure that we continue to promote, that the word gets out. You know, we have our new publication. We just got this in yesterday. These are 2019 numbers. We can also access this online through ustradenumbers.com. I'll be happy to go drop off a few boxes for everyone. But in here, this is the real deal. This is a study that we do once a year. So we're at over $36 billion in trade again. And we continue to be the third largest and most important land port of entry in Texas along the Mexico border. So we have to continue on that trend. There's a lot more to come. I think we're developing a good plan right now as far as the marketing strategy. But again, travel, marketing go hand in hand. And it's all part of the strategy. So we're going to continue moving forward, and we're going to be taking suggestions, and we're going to be hopefully moving in the right direction.
Right. That's great. These are just shifts. It's gonna cause a good exposure during this time that we're not able to travel. Anything else on the director's report, or any other comments from the board members?
No, sir.
You good? All right. If there's nothing else, we can move on to adjournment. Anybody? Motion to adjourn?
Make motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion by Mr. Hernandez, second by Mr. Campero. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Have a great month, everybody. We'll stay in touch and be safe.
Thank you, Albert.